What it do, what it do. Welcome back. Axis of Combat Podcast, episode 24. As always, one half of your co-host here, Ray Boogie, the Boogie One, Boogie Kahuna, my co-host.
Hugo the boss, Hugo got next. Hugo in his hot boy summer. You already know what all these tank tops I'm wearing for these last couple of podcasts. But before we get into any of that, you guys already know the business. Follow, like, subscribe, comment, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok.
Everybody watching on YouTube right now, hit that subscribe button, hit the like, hit the notification bell to stay up to date, drop a comment.
And for all of our audio listeners, Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts, you already know. Before we kick off this UFC Vegas card, well, no, is this UFC Vegas? No, it's Tennessee, UFC Tennessee.
UFC Nashville.
Awesome. Yeah, so before we kick off this card, we're going to recap our bets from last weekend. We had winning nights, which is really nice. Ready to go rock and roll with this, what is it, Family Feud buzzer and the cha-ching?
I'm ready. Where are we going, right or wrong?
All right, so we're going to go wrong first.
Okay.
Smellersburger. Sellemsburger. Ribeiro.
Well, hold on. That's another one. You got his name wrong. Come on, bro.
We had a parlay with Bonfim, Chiesa, Holland to fight to start round 2. Poirier, Gaethje to start round 2. And my brother made a bet on Crawford via decision. I made a bet on Tony Ferguson. And I made a bet on Miranda Maverick via knockout. That one was like a nice swing in the dark because it was plus 850. So,
hey man, I'll do it again.
I like the value there. So,
yeah.
But overall, my brother finished with about 4 units up. I finished about 2 units up. Great weekend of fights, I will say, and definitely a weekend to remember in terms of violence and money.
What did we get right?
Okay, let's jump right into that. I like you. He's like, don't forget those. All the shit we got wrong.
Come on, man.
All right, so we got, let's start with you. You got Vergara via sub decision. Bonfim via sub. I got that as well. Holland money line. I bet that as well. Should have bet more, by the way.
Yeah, should have.
Half a unit on Holland via sub. Derek Lewis via knockout. Derek Lewis via knockout first round.
Goes you.
You gotta hit that 2 more times because I made those bets too. There you go. Then we
third one.
Pereira money line. Terrence Crawford money line.
Payday. You want payday?
Definitely was very, 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 very lucrative night of winnings.
That was pretty good, man. If I don't say so myself, you know.
Very, very happy. And we have a whole bunch to recap. Well, not even recap. Talk about for this weekend. We have Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz, and we have this UFC Nashville card. But before I get into any of that, I'm gonna have a quick rant moment.
Uh-oh.
That's okay.
Hey, go for it. I already know what this is.
Oh yeah, I've been talking about this. This has been festering.
Does it rhyme with Pence versus Lawford?
What is this, a law firm? But yes and no. It's that and just the culture of boxing. For all of you guys online that are shitting on Earl Spence Jr., shitting on Steve Fulton Jr. and saying that they're overrated and blah 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 blah, you guys need to really figure out better things to do with your time. Boxing needs to change its culture in terms of how these warriors are revered and respected, even in the social media space. I think a lot of guys and a lot of celebrities have a lot to say about fighters when they've never laced up a pair of gloves in their life. I seen Paul Pierce, going off on, Spence ain't the truth and blah, 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 blah. Paul Pierce is so delusional. But go ahead, you're going to say something.
Paul Pierce shit himself. Oh, what is he talking about?
Listen.
He the truth. You know what the truth is? My man got carried out because he shit himself.
He also got carried by KG to that championship. But, he's so delusional. He actually thinks he's the best person on that championship winning team. So, but,
Listen.
People like him, he thinks he's better than LeBron. And I'm like, this is the kind of guy I'm dealing with. Like the truth. He can't even tell the truth to himself. So
when I see habitual liar.
When I see clowns like that, and I'm gonna say clown because he's never thrown hands. I think he grew up in Compton. Sure, bro. We get it, bro. You got into a whole bunch of brawls, but you've never been hit by somebody that knows how to hit. You've never dealt with concussions. Well, maybe, you got into one of your sissy basketball fights. You miss a shot at the end of the game. You go home. You play another game another day, probably 2 or 3 days later. In fighting, Earl Spence Jr., especially after the walloping he got this weekend, he's gonna go home, spend some time with his kids. He's probably gonna have the shades closed because he's gonna be dealing with a lot of concussions, a lot of concussion-related issues. He's going to be dealing with a lot of head trauma related to that, a lot of body trauma. And, you have clowns like Paul Pierce coming out and basically just shitting on this guy. Whole bunch of internet trolls saying, oh, well, he was never that good and blah, blah, blah. You guys have no clue what, these sports entail. You guys have no clue what goes into these, into this combat sports related art. And I think you guys need to stick with like other sports that, I just think fighting, combat sports in general needs to be revered a little more differently than other sports. It's not the same thing. It's not as intimate. There's a lot of things that go into this. And, I just think that people like Paul Pierce, I mean, like, you shitting on him after the fight. Maybe you were hitting the Henny a little bit and you wanted to act stupid. That's one thing, but at the same time, man, like the dude just got his ass whooped. That could happen to anybody at any given moment, at any given point in time, and what he has to deal with, going back home to all his fans in Dallas, on top of the fact that he's not getting enough credit because this fight doesn't get done unless he gets directly involved with it.
100%.
He could have ducked Crawford and fought Thurman, or duck Crawford and move up because Jamel's fighting Canelo and he could have just moved up and fought the next best guy in the weight class up.
Or just fought Jamel.
Right.
To be honest, so.
And just as a pure boxing rant, this is the problem. These guys duck each other and then you bitch. But then they fight each other and then you want to shit on them. It's weird. It can't be one or the other. It shouldn't be both, and it shouldn't be one or the other. I think you have to salute these guys for stepping out of their way and sacrificing their bag as well as their by fighting each other and challenging themselves. And there needs to be a deeper respect if these guys lose these fights, whether it's by a close decision or by a landslide ass whipping. And, you guys, this is the problem with boxing, like the Deontay Wilders of the world, the Ryan Garcias of the world, the Steve Fulton Jr.'s of the world, the Earl Spence Jr.'s of the world. They're not given enough credit for taking risk. And they should be given credit for taking risk because for a long time, the boxing game was all about generating as much money possible while not taking risk. These guys take risks, they fall short, and you guys want to clown them, say they're overrated and shit on them and piss on them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't get that. It doesn't happen in MMA as much. It does happen in MMA, but there's a whole bunch of people in MMA with losses that are super respected in the game. And I think that's some of the culture that should rub off into the boxing culture. Earl Spence Jr., we did not pick him to win this fight. I kind of went on record and said it could be a one-sided ass whipping, but I salute him. Even though I personally, I do think, like, to an extent, and this is no offense to Spence and his camp, I do think they wanted to age Terrence out a little bit. Clearly still didn't work. But I give him a lot of credit for making this fight happen because he could, even though him and Terrence talked directly, he could have still ducked it. He could have still avoided the fight. And I just think the culture of boxing entirely just needs to change.
Well, I think Mayweather is partially to blame for this. Just a little bit, because he, how he's undefeated. He made everybody care about keeping their O. And I think modern day boxers, like especially the young guys, I mean, you see it. They're starting to kind of care less because they know, hey man, O's whatever, let's fight. You know what I'm saying? You've seen a lot more fights, to their credit. The problem is online culture, social media culture.
Even boxing culture is still conditioned into that Mayweather era.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is the problem.
And I learned, very quickly that, especially when it comes to social media, there's a lot of subhuman, smooth brain ass, square peg in a round hole ass, 17 IQ ass, mongoloids online. And, you can see there's a lot of mental illness sometimes. It's just people, social media gives people voices who shouldn't have voices, at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
And there's a lot of people who can't think for themselves and, they just hop on bandwagons or hop on whatever's cool or whatever, It's, and it's always like a large vocal minority. The majority of people, they'll see Spence and Crawford and, damn, that was a good ass fight. They're not going to shit on Spence. They'll give credit to Crawford. But, again, there's people who, probably wear helmets for a living, never touched grass before in their lives. They ride the short bus, maybe. I don't know. But they have access to the internet and they want to say some crazy shit. Those people are very loud and very vocal.
Yikes.
But you gotta, stay away from those people, block them, ignore them. You move on.
Yeah, and by the way, it's crazy that we're coming to the defense of these guys. They're not asking for our defense, and then you guys are not even talking shit towards us. But when I see all this shit going on online, I'm like, are you serious? Is this how you guys are gonna revere these warriors? Yeah. Bro, these guys will whip your ass on their worst day. They'll whip your favorite athlete's ass on their worst day. Paul Pierce will get his ass whooped by Earl Spence with Earl Spence having COVID and the flu at the same fucking time. And he would still fuck him up. So, I just don't, I don't understand the culture, but long story short, get off these boys' dicks, bro. Just straight up.
Just a little respect, man.
Get off these boys' nuts.
Yeah. Two warriors out here, man, just putting it on the line. I'm saying,
all these fighters, all of them, right? Yeah. Even Stephen Fulton. Oh, he's overrated, and
they're dude, crazy, bro.
Dude, Stephen Fulton is a fucking problem, and I mean, in a way, did what he did, and no one expected that, though. No one expected what Terrence Crawford did either. Well, the people who were in the know were in the know. I had a clue it could happen, but would I have bet on it? No, but.
No, because you got to,
I give Spence a ton of credit.
Yeah, you have to give him a little respect too on the line.
He's a beast. So. He's a beast, man. So it's it is what it is. Fuck you guys, straight up, to you internet trolls. I'm going to be real with you who are, who have no idea about this game, who think you know about this game. And we could move on.
Hey, man, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, drop a follow. All the social medias, and I'm saying I'll have it drop conveniently right here. You see it?
Especially all you haters.
Show some love.
Especially all you dick eaters. You guys can comment, like, subscribe, do whatever you want. We'll converse with you guys and shit on you with facts. No opinions here. We give facts. We speak facts. The printer's broken because all we getting is facts here. You know what I'm saying?
100, boy.
That's it.
On a stack.
That's it. So.
On Lord.
Please, haters, all of you guys who I just addressed that are internet trolls, please follow us. Please show us some love. We might put you on and make your lives a little more enticing, putting you on our platform and then taking our proverbial asses out and shitting on you on this table. You know what I'm saying? So
that sounds a little crazy.
I don't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm done with this shit. Let's move on, man. I'm tired. I don't want to address the negative anymore. We had great fights. It is what it is.
All right. Now we got UFC Nashville taking place in Tennessee, Nashville. Nashville, Tennessee. This card has about 8 canceled fights.
Ugh.
My Lord.
Poor Tennessee.
Sean Woodson is on his 4th opponent right now. Janji Roba is supposed to be on this card fighting Tatiana. Saeed was supposed to be on this card fighting Kyler. Tagir Ulanbekov was supposed to be fighting Jake Hadley. Ovin St. Preux was on this card fighting Ian Kutalaba. Both them dudes not even on this
That's
card.
a 1-800 gamblers fight, boy.
And Umar Nurmagomedov was supposed to be main eventing
Against
Sandhagen.
That's crazy.
Now, our
This
new
card
main
got
event.
butchered.
Yeah, it did. It got, this why, I mean, this card's a little...
It low-key got salvaged a little bit, though.
I mean, a little bit. I mean, but I think it's a little weird to bet on low-key. I don't know.
Yeah, no, this might be a low. I didn't see what you were saying until I really started looking at it. Then I started looking at the card, and I started doing some homework, and I was like, yeah, this might be very minimal bets. High units on the bets that I do feel good about, and that's it.
Pretty much.
That's about all.
Yeah. I'm probably going to be prop hunting. There's not too many. I love money lines, but there ain't too many money lines I like out here, so I guess we can get to it. What do you say?
Let's do it.
All right, first fight we got on the card. We have Ode Osbourne going against the debuting Assu Almabaev. Oh my God. Almabaev. The Jamaican sensation fighting out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 31 years old, going against the debuting. I didn't even know how to pronounce this dude's nickname. Zulfikar. I'm sorry. Almabaev.
Who?
17-2, fighting out of Kazakhstan, debuting, 29 years old. Ode, you know, a little vet. I mean, not a vet, but he's been in and out of the game here. You know what I'm saying? I like his striking. He's got some power. He's quick. He's big for the division. I think this is if he makes weight, this will be the third time he makes weight. But he's got like 8 fights in the UFC. All in this division. So, that'd be nice. That'd be nice if he made weight for once. He should probably just move up, if I'm being
He
honest.
should definitely move up.
Almabaev here. Did a little tape on him. I like the grappling.
I do.
I think he's pretty solid. I think his transitions are pretty good. Very good.
Very cool.
Very good. And
Super necessary.
I kind of like him. I kind of like him to win this fight.
I do too.
Why?
No, well, listen, to piggyback off of you, I do like him as well. His cardio is really good. Dude can grapple for 3 rounds. He's very strong, physically jacked. He's going to be at the size disadvantage here, but the problem is that Ode hasn't fought anyone in the UFC that's tested his wrestling. And I think this guy is definitely going to test his wrestling, and I think he's probably the best wrestler that he's fought. So,
Yeah, he's been taken down twice. Once by Charles Johnson in the first round, and then once by the guy just fought. What's his name?
I'll find out.
CJ
Right.
Vergara.
And
In the third round.
by the way, Vergara not known for his wrestling.
Yes.
Doesn't really use his wrestling much, and Charles Johnson literally just walked up to him, gave him a bear hug, and then just dropped to the floor.
Pretty much.
That's what happened.
Yeah.
So I mean I expect Oda to be a little more prepared for it, but I just think this kid's his grappling transitions and all that, the way he's able to take the back, the way he transitions to the back, the way he rides his opponents. Hey yo. You know, I was trying to find another word, I couldn't find it. Hey yo.
Hey, man,
I won't repeat that.
Just let it ride.
Yeah. Hey. But yeah, I think he does a lot of good things. And even though it is his UFC debut, he's 17-2. He has more fights than Ode.
Yeah, and the promotions that he's fought in are, pretty reputable. To be honest.
Legitimate.
They're good. They're good. And he's fought decent guys,
Very decent guys. More than decent guys.
Yeah.
So I like him. I don't know how I'm going to bet it yet. He's getting smashed. I think he's at minus 192 right now. Yes, he is. Don't know how I'm going to bet it. I might take him straight. No bullshit, because there's not a lot of good spots, and I feel pretty good about this spot on this card. I think you agree with me, but what do you think?
I'm kind of on that boat. I don't know if I want to bet this straight. I do want to bet him though. I do think he's gonna win. The only thing that kind of worries me a little bit is that Ode is a little he's a little sneaky when it comes to off his back submissions, but I don't think that's nothing that Almabaev hasn't really seen. I'm pretty confident he's gonna win. I just don't know if this is gonna go, if this is inside the distance or if it goes to distance. But Almabaev is definitely the side for me.
Correct.
Just don't know how I'm gonna bet it.
Might parlay him. Who knows?
It's a solid parlay piece, I think.
Yep.
In my opinion.
I agree.
All right, next fight we have here in the 145 featherweight division, we have Sean Woodson against debuting Denis Buzukja. Man, I don't know how to pronounce this guy's name. I think it's Buzukja.
What a name.
I'm going to call him Denis. I'm calling him Buzukja. I apologize. Sean Woodson, the sniper, 9-1, fighting out of St. Louis, 31 years old. 6'2", by the way, for featherweight. Going one-on-one with the great Denis Buzukja. I'm just gonna call him Dennis. I just called him Denis. I busted his name up. The great Dennis, 11-2, fighting out of Staten Island, New York, 25 years old, making his debut. This fight is a little weird. Again, this is Sean Woodson's fourth opponent. I like Sean Woodson in terms of his striking. I think he's very slick. He's got a boxing background. Quick with his hands, quick on his feet, slick with it. A little worried about his cardio.
And his chin.
And his chin. Yeah, you're right. I mean, maybe his last fight was kind of just like an aberration because they were fighting in elevation, but and Luis Saldana kind of pieced him up.
Pieced him up bad.
Pieced him up real bad. But that dumbass didn't know how to finish a fight at all. His coach was yelling at him in the corner like, my man, stop celebrating. They ended up getting a point deducted because he
threw a knee.
He kneed him in the face and thought he won and got on the fucking fence, was like, yeah! What a dumbass. Oh, my God. Still ended up being a draw.
Fucking Luis Saldana.
The film on Dennis. Man, I want to keep calling him Buzukja. Dennis.
I'm calling him Buzukja.
Pause. Anyway, he fights out of the Ray Longo camp, so he's gonna have some decent wrestling. I do like his wrestling. He's a little low output. Sean Woodson is a little hard to take down, but I think once he's down, I think Dennis should. I don't know, man. This is tough. I think it just depends on. I don't know. It depends on who could implement their game at the end of the day, I guess. Because if Dennis could take him down, I think Dennis could probably
sub his ass,
hold him down, and beat him up on the ground. Because I think he does have a good ground game. His stand up is a little cheeks, but he is a little. He's got a chin, so he could probably withstand some of the shit that Woodson throws at him. But I'm gonna lean Woodson here as a pure pick. I'm kind of thinking about betting the what's his name, the Dennis. Oh my God, I keep busting his name up. But I'm not sure. I think pure pick Sean Woodson, not with the most confidence. I don't know how I'm gonna bet this, but if I do bet this, I think I'm betting Buzukja. Whatever. I'm so sorry. I butchered the fuck out of this dude's name. What do you got for me, brother?
I'm actually going to be on the opposite here. I think I'm going to lean Buzukja. And I'm going to lean Buzukja because Sean Woodson, his last couple of performances, have looked like straight shit. Like he's gotten dropped. He got dropped the last fight. He got taken down with ease his last fight as well. Luis Saldana took him down, dude.
That's true.
And he's a striker. This kid is he's very seasoned. He's got 13 fights as a professional. His grappling is better than Woodson's. I could see him beating him up on the floor, controlling him. But yeah, I kind of like him here as a dog shot, but I don't know if I'm going to bet it. This fight might be a big stay away because if Woodson shows up, Woodson can keep him on the outside and box his face off, quite frankly. He is humongous for the division, and that makes a lot of sense because Victor Frankenstein built him in a lab. And if you look at how he's built, he looks like they took a whole bunch of dead people's body parts and put it together on Sean Woodson. So Christ. I mean, I'm dead ass. If you look at it, I hope you pull up a graphic that just shows how he looks. Like, in between this episode so people can understand what they're viewing.
No, people got Google. Let them do that.
Viewing it on YouTube, so now
get banned.
If Woodson can keep the fight standing, he should be able to outbox him. But the thing is, he's looked like so much shit his last couple of fights that I'm not sure what to do with him. This fight is borderline unbettable because it is a guy with a UFC debut, but my lean's going to go on the dog. Why not? Because why not?
All right, next fight we have in the flyweight division for the men, we have Jake Hadley. Hadley or Hadley? It's Hadley, right?
Hadley.
Jake Hadley, White Kong, going one-on-one with Cody Durden. Hadley, fighting out of England, hailing from England, 27 years old, 10-1, going against Cody Durden, 15-4-1, fighting out of Atlanta, 32 years old. This fight is pretty interesting because I think when it comes in terms of the stand-up, I think Jake Hadley's got Durden covered. Durden has been improving his striking, and he does have pop. But I think Jake Hadley's he's kind of smooth on the feet.
I agree.
You can tell that my man's got a boxing coach or a boxing background or something like that.
I agree.
But where the fight gets interesting is on the ground. Jake Hadley's pretty easy to take down, in my opinion. Cody Durden is a relentless wrestler. I think it's one of those fights where I think Durden is going to be winning the fight. He's definitely going to be winning the minutes. But Jake is slick off his back.
Very slick.
Throwing up tons of submissions. And I don't think he gets Cody early, but he could get Cody late because Cody gasses.
He gets sloppy. I agree.
My problem is I think Hadley wins. This is a pick. I think as a pure pick, I think he wins. But I don't know if I want to bet Hadley, only because I'm not comfortable betting people who are comfortable on their back playing jiu-jitsu.
Yes, because they lose minutes.
Because they're already losing the fight.
Correct.
You
would need a whole Hadley. You want to play it probably Hadley late.
And
you want a stoppage late.
I agree. I think Hadley late or like Hadley by sub because I don't think he's going to knock out Durden here.
Durden durable.
He's got a chin. Again, his stand-up is not bad. It's not as good as Hadley's, but he's not bad. But Durden's going to wrestle, and Durden's going to wrestle, and Durden's going to wrestle.
Yep.
So, Durden is probably not a bad dog shot, because I know he's the dog. So, if you want to go sprinkle a little something on Durden, I don't blame you. I think Hadley does win. I think he's just a better MMA fighter.
I agree.
But stylistically, I don't know if this is the best matchup for Hadley. I mean, it's a good test to see if he's able to, because I don't think he's going to get dog walked like he did against Nacimiento. No. And I don't think he got dog walked in that fight, but it was kind of a mismatch a little bit, especially for considering that was Hadley's debut.
Yeah, rough debut fight.
They threw him right at him, and Nacimiento's a bad boy. I'm saying so.
I agree.
I think the pick is Hadley for me. The bet might be Durden, but I'm not too sure. This one I'm still kind of like mulling over. What about you?
That was perfect, and I'm not going to add much onto that. Hadley might be the bet. A Hadley stoppage late might be the bet. Durden, if you want to take a shot on him, he's live. Live as hell, but the thing is, I would normally against anyone else, a lot of other people in this division, not named Jake Hadley. I think this guy is dangerous at every part of the fight. At every point of the fight, he's dangerous, and Durden makes mistakes.
I agree. I think he's the better. I think he's the better MMA fighter.
Yeah,
but it's just like stylistically, this might be a little tricky for him.
Correct. Has power and submission game. Hadley late, Hadley second round. I would love to see the lines and what they open up at there, but that's as far as I'm going to go with it. I think the way you broke it down was beautiful, and I agree with everything 100%.
Well, I think you're beautiful. I just want to throw that out there. Anyway, who's your pick? I'm sorry.
Hadley. No bets, guys, by the way. No bets. Those are a lot of leans here. So,
all right, next fight we have on the card, we have Billy Quarantillo.
Quentin.
I got COVID on my mind. Billy Quarantillo going one-on-one with Damon Jackson. Billy Q
Billy Q.
I'm not gonna stop saying this.
Quarantillo.
Fighting out of Tampa, Florida, 34 years old, 17-5. Going one-on-one with Action Jackson, Damon Jackson, aka Justified in the Flesh, Walter Goggins.
You definitely need to pull up a graphic of
I
those
got
two side by side.
34 years old, fighting out of Dallas, Texas, 22-5-1. I think this fight is intriguing. I think this is another one of those fights where I like somebody early and I like somebody late. The person I like early, Damon Jackson. Especially when they're dry. I think if they get into a grappling exchange, I think Damon Jackson could put it on him. Damon Jackson has been improving his striking. I don't think it's Billy Q level, but I think it's he's able to compete a little bit. But Billy Q, you know how Billy Q starts. He starts slow. He's a builder. Gets better as the fight goes on. I think he's got the striking edge for sure. And Jackson, I don't really trust his chin. He's a little bit on the older side. He's on the wrong side at 35. Billy Q is he's just got that dog in him. And I like Billy Q as the side, pure pick. He might also be getting a bet, but not at his current money line, because I think he's almost close to minus 200 as well, right?
Yeah, and I don't agree with that.
I think Damon Jackson is live early. I just think if the fight goes on, I just think it slowly becomes the Billy Q show, in my opinion.
You know what's the thing too, though? I agree and I disagree, and I disagree because there's a possibility that Jackson just controls him. He gets his back and controls him for 2 rounds.
I mean, that's possible.
You know, so this fight is very scary. Damon Jackson is definitely live. This is a very scary fight to bet on.
It is.
Because Billy Q, as much volume as he throws, he gets hit like more than he throws and connects with, right? So you're betting on a guy that uses his face as a punching bag. And don't get me wrong, he's fun. He's a fun fighter, but from a betting standpoint, it's very scary because anybody can walk into a good shot and get knocked out in this game.
I mean, but Damon Jackson's not really a prolific striker either, you know?
100%.
His striking has improved, but you know.
I could just see him walking into takedowns too. High key.
But I don't think Billy Q is like that incompetent on the ground. I think,
Yeah, he's not terrible, but Damon's better.
Damon is better.
He's better.
I give him the edge on the ground. 100%.
He's better.
Yeah.
Right? So, yeah, this fight scares the shit out of me. It's going to be a fun fight to watch, a terrible fight to bet on. I kind of like the over low key. The over 1.5, I think that hits. Because
I got to think about that one.
Billy Q, not a big puncher.
I mean, I'm afraid I would probably lean on you on that if I knew Damon Jackson could take a punch.
He could take a punch.
I don't know, man. He's looking a little shaky, man, the last couple of fights. You know
but he's fought killers. Like
Billy Q's a dog, bro.
He's just a dog. That's it.
Where's that dog? Where's that dog button? That's Billy Q right there.
Yeah, he fought Dan Ige. He got knocked out with a left hook. Dude, this guy beats Pat Sabatini, man.
Yeah, but I mean, Pat Sabatini is just like a pure grappler, you know?
No, 100%. But Pat Sabatini,
he don't got hands.
Come on, boy.
My boy.
I think Damon Jackson's live. I do.
I'm not saying he's not live. I just think Damon early, if you like Damon, and Billy late.
I don't know, guys. That one you're going to have to follow us on social media because I don't even know how to play it. I may not play it, so heads up. But anyway, on to the next one.
All right, speaking of close fights, we got another banger of a fight here. We got Jeremiah Wells going one-on-one with Carlston Harris. Jeremiah Wells, 2-1, Philly boy, 36 years old, fighting against Carlston Harris, 18-5, also 36 years old, fighting out of Brazil, hailing from Ghana. These guys are both fighting to see who the best 36-year-old prospect is because they both started late. They both made like 4 fights in each, right, to the UFC. But they're both old as hell, especially for this for 170 pounds.
See you at the top.
Yeah. I gotta lean, man. I don't know. I go back and forth on this one.
It's a great fight. Go ahead.
I might have to give the grappling edge low key
To Harris.
How
crazy is that?
And only because like his only loss was against Shavkat, and Shavkat kind of struggled to get my man down. I mean, once he got him down, like, you know, a turtle on his back. But Shavkat, you know, he ain't nothing to sneeze at when it comes to his grappling.
No.
And Jeremiah Wells, like, I mean, this dude's like a beast of a man.
Yeah, he's
a small man. Beast
Scary.
of a man, though. Gets his takedown. I mean, I would like to see him get, like, traditional takedowns. Because a lot of the takedowns I see him get, literally just power takedowns.
The Kamar Usman special.
Just straight hug you and then power you down.
Yep.
You know? I think these guys both thump. But if I had to trust the chin of one guy, it'd probably be Jeremiah.
I agree.
Because Carlston's been knocked out.
Yes.
I mean, Jeremiah has been rocked. And I mean, if you look at his last fight against
Sellensberger. But that dude hits. He hits too.
He got rocked every round of that fight.
Yeah. But if I had to give the power edge and the jump in, Jeremiah Wells is the bigger puncher.
I agree.
He's the more powerful guy.
He's the more explosive guy.
Correct.
But Harris is very slick. I mean, he's the guy who's going to be attempting more submissions 100%.
I think he has more creative submissions than Jeremiah.
Yeah. And he's a long, lanky dude, so like he can pull some stuff off that, you know,
yeah,
not the average guy can pull off. You know what I'm saying? So
I like the under in this fight. I like the under a lot. It's minus. Where are you?
Under 2.5, maybe.
It's minus 190 though.
That's something I might consider. I don't know, as a parlay piece, maybe.
Maybe, but yeah, I expect violence in this fight. Like, but to pick a side here, dude, Jeremiah Wells, ladies and gentlemen, was a minus 160, 170 yesterday. He's minus 135 right now. There's money coming in on Harris.
I kind of like that. Because I think this fight should be a pick'em.
I agree.
So, pure pick,
I'm
going to lean Jeremiah Wells. But from a betting perspective, I don't blame anybody going dog or pass.
No.
I understand completely the money coming in on Harris. I do.
Yeah.
That being said, if it gets to pick'em numbers, or even if it gets to Wells underdog,
I'm taking what? Yeah.
I might go that route.
Yeah, I agree. I think Wells is the more physically imposing guy, which is crazy because he's the smaller guy. But the thing is, I think he got longer reach, which is fucking insane.
Yeah, I think so.
And dude, he dumps on the feet. Like, I could see these guys respecting each other's ground games and not trying to go there, and them just standing. And I'm going to take the guy with the bigger power because Harris doesn't have the most strategic technical striking either. And I think Wells hits harder than him.
Yeah, he's got like funky striking, and I used to think like it was bad, but I think it's just kind of
awkward.
He throws awkward on purpose.
I agree.
And like he throws like his overhand like this, you know? Like he's almost slapping you. It's weird. He's weird style, but it works for him. And you know, he's got power. You know, it's going to be a good close fight. It should be a pick'em. But stop that. It's weird.
Like, if someone weak throws a punch.
I don't know if he's making that noise.
I know, but that's how he punches though. Like someone who's never thrown a punch in his life. But he's a beast on the floor, so
he is.
He's a beast. Jeremiah was the lean. Don't know how I'm gonna bet it.
All right, next fight we have here in the bantamweight division, we have Raoni Barcelos going one-on-one with Kyler the Matrix Phillips. Barcelos, 17-4, hailing from Brazil, fighting out of Brazil, 36 years old, going against the Matrix, Kyler Phillips, fighting out of Phoenix, Arizona, 28 years old, 10-2 overall. This fight is pretty interesting because this could be one of those passing of the guard moments. I do like Kyler Phillips. I don't know if I'm going to bet Kyler Phillips because I do think Barcelos is probably live. I don't know what the numbers are at the moment, but
Barcelos is plus 164. Phillips is minus 198. I think that line is a little crazy.
I'm just a little worried about Barcelos because I do think Barcelos is kind of on the decline. I think he's a little.
He's
I
older.
don't want to say he's a whole step behind, but he's definitely like about a half step behind.
He's so explosive though. Like he's still so explosive, and his ground game is pretty legit.
And I'm not too worried about his chin. I mean, he did get cleaned out by Umar, but I think that was more of just like a technique thing. But who knows? We don't know. All I know is that Phillips, I think he's coming off of there's a lot of fighters coming off of 2 years, like layoffs and stuff like that on this card.
Phillips because he popped for juice, by the way.
Phillips because he popped for juice. He got stuck in the Matrix a little too long. He didn't know which pill that Morpheus was giving him. Try to blame it on Morpheus. That's what happened there. But I do like I think he's quick. I think he's a great striker. I think he's got decent grappling. I don't think he's going to be able to out-grapple Barcelos here, but I do think he could possibly outstrike Barcelos.
And keep him on the outside, yeah.
I'm going to lean Phillips here as a pure pick, but I do not have a bet on this fight.
Yeah.
At the moment. I don't know how to bet this fight.
Raoni is live as hell. And I'm with you for everything. Phillips' movement is really good. I think he's a little slept on. I think people have that stigma, oh, he was on juice and blah, 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 blah. Dude, juice has nothing to do with how well you're in and out and your ability to hit and not get hit. And but the thing is, Ronnie's so explosive, man. And yeah, he got caught with a good shot from Umar, but it's also Umar, and Umar caught him in between like a half step. It was a beaut. The technique was fantastic.
100%, yeah.
And can't knock poor Ronnie for that. He's a little older now, but he's live because Kyler Phillips hasn't been in the ring, and if he start the octagon rather, and if Ronnie starts fast, he can probably pack him up early. Kyler's the lean, but definitely don't know how I'm gonna bet this fight. I'm not sure yet. I tell you what, if these lines keep getting jacked the way they are, there's definitely gonna be some nice little quarter unit dog bets here, no question.
Yeah, for me, it's the money lines are a little tough. So if I like a dog, it's probably going to be small. I'm probably going to be looking at props more than anything, round props, decision props, finish props.
I'm with you.
I think I'm prop hunting, but we don't have all the props available to us at the moment. So
yep,
we got what we got.
Yep. Speaking of prop on a fight, we got one coming up next.
You're right. We got next fight here. We got in the lightweight division, we have Ignacio Bahamondes going one-on-one with Ľudovít Klein. La Huala. Ignacio Bahamondes, 14-4, fighting out of Chile, actually hailing from Chile, fighting out of Chicago, 25 years old, going against the highlight, Mr. Highlight, Ľudovít Klein, 19-4-1, fighting out of the Slovak Republic, hailing from Slovakia, 28 years old. This fight is probably should be lined a little closer than what it is, but I do like the Bahamondes side. I like the Bahamondes side a lot, actually. Don't know how I'm gonna bet it because I think he's a big favorite, right? He's probably like -200 or something like that, right?
I like him via decision. I'll get into why in a minute.
I like Ľudovít. I like his style. He's a little on the low volume side. I think if he tries to wrestle here, he could probably find some success. But Ignacio is like super long and lanky, and I could see a sub 100%. I don't know. I like Bahamondes here. I think Bahamondes got him covered on the feet. He's one of those big guys who knows how to fight big. He uses all of his length. Pause. Ľudovít, this might be the biggest guy Ľudovít's fought. Ľudovít, not that Ľudovít really struggles against big dudes, but his last fight against Jai Herbert, kind of a mid fight. I feel like he could have won if he just put his, foot on the gas there a little bit. But, credit to Jai. Made it close. Ended up a draw. I like Ignacio here. I think Ignacio wins. I don't know how. My brother said decision. What else you got for this fight?
I agree with you. I think he definitely wins. And it's just because of Klein's output. Doesn't have a ton of output. If he wrestles, it can be interesting, like you said. But I like Bahamondes. I think he's big for the division. I think he throws a ton of volume. I think he goes for the finish. He's gonna have the bigger moments in this fight. And I think he's very hard to control. And I think it's going to be a tall order for Ľudovít Klein. even though he is a tank. I do think this line should be a little more closely lined. I think it's a little disrespectful to make him a plus 185 dog. Don't blame anyone for taking a dog shot on him. But I like Bahamondes. I think he's got real talent in this weight class. So Bahamondes is the lean, and I think that's all. I don't know how I'm gonna bet it. Don't know how I'm gonna bet it.
All right, next fight we have here in the light heavyweight division, we have Tanner Boser going one-on-one with Aleksa Camur.
Horrible fighter. Horrible fighter.
The Bulldozer, 20-10-1, hailing from Canada, fighting out of Canada, 32 years old, going one-on-one with Camur. Am I saying his name right?
Yeah.
Camur? Aleksa Camur.
Stipe's training partner.
6-2, Stipe's training partner. So you know he's fighting out of Ohio, but I'm not sure what country he's from. I think he's like from Bosnia. I'm not too sure. I don't want to, whatever. Anyway, he's fighting out of Ohio. He's 27 years old. This fight is probably the lowest level.
Probably.
It is. It's the lowest level fight of the card for sure, and it's on the main card. So I mean, but I think it's because the UFC expects that somebody's gonna knock out somebody here. Boser moving down from heavyweight to light heavyweight, got cleaned out by the Hulk. What's his name? I don't remember his real name. I just know Kutalaba. That's not a good look. I didn't even know Camur was even on the roster. I had to look this guy up. He apparently had 3 fights in the UFC.
How crazy is that? Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you there.
I did like his striking.
Golden Glove champion.
He's got a boxing background. I don't know who's going to win this fight. I really don't. I'm going to lean Boser because of the experience. But I don't know. This might be dog or pass. I mean, Kumar. I don't know how to say this guy's name. Aleksa. I think his first name is easier to say. Aleksa. He is the younger fighter. He is very young, actually. And who knows? Maybe he was spending all this time improving. I think he's probably the harder hitter of the two guys. This could be dog or pass here. Or maybe you just don't bet this fight because this is very low level fight. This is a low level fight. Are you betting this, brother?
No.
Okay.
No. Well, listen.
No.
Never say never. Never say never. But what I will say is that this fight is a sneaky over, and it's a sneaky over because Kamar's power hasn't translated into the UFC. Only in the Contender Series fight it translated, and he also Tanner Boser is also kind of hard to kill, like Steven Seagal. He has been stopped, but most of his losses are via decision. He only has 2 knockout losses.
And this is Boser.
Yeah, this is Boser.
Okay.
Knows how to work behind the jab, and Camur doesn't really use his wrestling. So as long as Boser doesn't get taken down, this fight's gonna stay standing.
That's true.
And I think Boser probably can stay out of trouble and make this a big, sloppy, light heavyweight fight. I like Boser. Don't have enough balls to bet it. Probably not going to bet it because this is definitely a 1-800-GAMBLERS fight. But Boser's the lean. Probably going to stay away from it. Love the over, though. Love the over for this fight, whatever the line comes out to. But over 1.5, I think that's worth it. Even 2.5 is live, for sure. But if I'm going to bet this fight...
Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
Probably not. Get the fuck out of here.
All right, next fight we have here on the main card. In the featherweight division, we have the returning Gavin Tucker, the governor, going one-on-one with Diego Lopes. The governor, Gavin Tucker. Gavin, you hear me say Tucker like that? Real New York. Hey, yo, Tucker. Hey, my boy Tucker here. Fighting out of Canada. I'm about to say California. I'm really butchering this dude. From Halifax, 37 years old. 13-2 overall. Going against Diego Lopes, 26, 21-6. Hailing from Brazil, fighting out of Mexico, 28 years old. I'm just gonna keep it 100. I'm gonna keep it a stack. I like Lopes here.
Same.
He's the younger guy. I think he's got underrated striking. He's definitely got wicked ground game.
Bigger guy.
Gavin Tucker's good. I like his striking a lot. He's got a couple of wins by sub too. He's 37 years old. He's been out for 2.5 years. I think he's got a sus chin. He's been knocked down several times. I'm just going to lean the bigger guy, the younger guy, Diego Lopes. I think he's got him covered. Maybe it's a little more competitive on the feet than it is on the ground. Who knows? But Lopes is my lean. Lopes is my pick. Don't know how I'm going to bet this fight.
Lopes might be my bet. And here's why. Gavin Tucker is like Jeepers Creepers. Comes out once every 23 years to feast. And, you know what's bad? The fact that he usually comes out. How many times has the UFC been to Canada in the last couple of years?
Well, recently, like once.
I haven't looked at his typology. I haven't looked at his typology page or his shirt dog, but I'm pretty confident his last 2 fights were in Canada.
Damn.
That's crazy. So if you're telling me I'm going to bet a guy who's 37 years old, sus chin, fights every 23 years,
23,
and feasts for 23 days, I'm going to bet the younger, bigger guy here who is a fucking savage that gave Movsar Evelev all he could handle on short notice.
Yeah.
Now he has a full camp. And, you know, I hear a lot of people saying, oh, well, Movsar was able to control him late in the fight. Well, yeah, he took the fight in last minute notice. And do I hear people comparing Gavin Tucker who? To Movsar Evelev? Come on, man. We need...
Get the fuck out of here.
Please get the fuck out of here.
I mean, I don't think Gavin's a scrub.
He ain't no scrub. TLC shit. No scrubs. No, for sure.
Yeah, but you know.
Yeah, like this dude fights every 23 years in the 23rd of spring. You know, I can't trust the man that does that against a fucking savage like Diego Lopes. He is a savage. This dude comes to scrap, and his ground game is wicked. Wicked. I could see him getting him hurt and subbing him too. Lopes low-key probably inside the distance. I think that's a very nice bet. Lines haven't opened up for it yet, so I can't tell you, but you already know. You're already to the business, ladies and gentlemen. Follow us on all social media platforms to get the latest news, those latest bets. We'll hook you up. But Gavin Tucker getting my money.
Stupid. I'm not going to let you get the chance.
Fading him.
Super necessary. 100%.
Moving on. Just shitted on this Canadian boy.
All right, now we're at the featured bout in the light heavyweight division. We have Dustin Jacoby going against Kennedy Nzechukwu. That is,
I think you nailed it.
Nzechukwu. Okay.
Love this, man.
We got the hand yak. Dustin Jacoby, 18-7-1. Fighting out of Denver, Colorado, 35 years old. Going one-on-one with the African savage himself. Kennedy Nzechukwu. There you go. 12-3. Fighting out of Dallas, Texas. Hailing from Nigeria. 31 years old. I think if this fight was to take place a couple of years earlier, I think it'd be a little harder to pick. But I'm leaning the African savage. He's been improving. You can't teach height. You can't teach length. I think he's the stronger of the two. And the more I think about it, the more I think this fight doesn't take place standing. I think
Kennedy's probably going to wrestle him.
I think he's going to put his wrestling shoes on. And I think he's going to
put him against the fence, grind him.
Drown Jacoby in pressure and on the ground.
I agree.
I think that's the way the fight plays out. I don't think he wants to fight Dustin standing. Dustin, wrong side of 35. I think his chin is fading just a little bit. I think his power is fading just a little bit. I think his speed is fading just a little bit. I still think he's a good fighter. I think this is a good test for Kennedy. And Kennedy, he's one of those guys where he gets hit, it looks scary. Because I don't think he's got the greatest chin low-key either.
He has good recoverability, though.
But yeah, not only does he recover, but it kind of like turns on some like, he goes into beast mode. Like
he goes into African Savage mode.
He goes into African Savage mode. He just starts throwing elbows.
He channels his fucking nickname.
He turns into a violent man.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna lean Kennedy here. Don't know how I'm gonna bet it. I don't think Jacoby's a bad dog, only because he's durable.
That bad dog. Bad dog.
He's stupid.
Bad dog.
I don't think he's the worst like dog shot. But I do like Kennedy here. I think Kennedy's gonna win. I think Kennedy wins this more than 50% of the time for sure.
More than 70% of the time.
So Kennedy's my lean. Kennedy's my pick. I just don't know how I'm gonna bet it at the moment. I'm looking for props because I think his money line is what?
Minus 155.
And that's actually not that bad, actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
Heads up, ladies and gentlemen. I already put 3 units on this man. At minus 148. I think
on the table.
I think Njeku's gonna fuck this guy up.
Okay.
And here's why. 6'5", 83-inch reach. He's got 6 inches of reach on Dustin Jacoby. And I think Dustin is fading a little bit. He lost his last couple of fights to Khalil Roundtree and Mirzakhanov. He should have won the Mirzakhanov fight. I actually lost money on him in that fight. And no, this is not me having sour grapes and fading him because he faded me. But what I'm going to tell you is that he should have probably won that fight. And I know people were complaining about the Khalil Roundtree fight. You could make a real argument for Khalil winning that fight. You could. I don't think I picked Khalil when the judges hit the scorecards with it. But Khalil, I wasn't surprised by the decision because I thought Khalil put mitts on him. I think Njeku is a guy, and this is the beauty of the UFC and the beauty of young prospects, a guy who you would have faded early because he made a lot of bad fight decisions in the octagon. He is a guy that is consistently getting better. He is a guy with the physical talents and gifts to make shit happen in this division. And he is a guy that he can beat you anywhere. He can wrestle, he can strike, he's good in the clinch, he's good from the outside. He does everything good. And he's going against, I think, a guy who's fading a little bit. Maybe not entirely, but he's fading. He's not the same guy he was 3 years ago.
Like I said, the wrong side of 35 for sure.
100%.
And he's got a lot of fights on his resume. And I'm saying
because you got to include his kickboxing.
Yeah.
And this guy fought all the way up to fighting Alex Pereira in Glory for the kickboxing, the light heavyweight kickboxing world championship. So
definitely a lot of tread on his tires.
A lot of tread against a killer. I'm going to say it. Njeku is a killer. And you give him to me at minus 148. I think it's bank robbery, low key. I might put more units on him before this fight starts. Njeku is the bet. Njeku is the lean. Njeku is the pick. Yeah. Might pick him by stoppage. Don't know because Jacoby is durable. He has durability and he does not survive in certain instances. But I think Njeku's just operating at a different level right now, man. I think he's figured it out, and I think he's finally put it together. And his last couple of fights, I agree with you, he did get dropped. But this dude is, I agree, he kind of wakes up and he kind of recovers fast. He kind of gets those flash knockdowns and he gets up. He's pretty durable, low key. He gets dropped, but he's pretty durable. He gets up and you put him down, he's gonna put you down after. So the bet, 3-unit bet already on Njeku at minus 148. I think this is free money. I really do.
All right, now we're at the co-main event, strawweight division for the women. And we got a banger here. We got Jessica Andrade going one-on-one with Tatiana Suarez. Jessica, 24-11. Hailing out of Brazil, fighting out of Brazil, 31 years old, going against Tatiana Suarez, 9-0. Fighting out of California, 32 years old. Previous opponent was supposed to be Jandiroba. I think that was a solid fight. I think this fight's a little more intriguing because of the name. Andrade is a bad woman. And she's got a good takedown defense. I think her takedown defense is over 70%. The problem is once you get her down,
questionable.
A little questionable on the ground. A little questionable. She's hard to take down, but when you take her down, a little questionable, to say the least. A little problematic.
100%.
Tatiana, big favorite here. Rifle favorite here. I think she gets it done. She's going to be my pick. Don't know how I'm going to bet it. I might wait for props to drop. I'm a little tempted on inside the distance. Probably sub. Probably early. And that's crazy because Jessica Andrade is like, she's legit. This is like her fourth fight this year.
Yeah.
She's just taking fights left and right. But I feel like taking a fight last minute like this against this kind of opponent, that's a little crazy. That's a little sus. I don't like it. I'm gonna lean Suarez here. I think she gets it done. You can't bet her straight. I probably wouldn't even recommend a parlay because I don't know. Women's MMA.
I'm on the opposite side of you here. I recommend parlays. I recommend all the parlays.
Okay.
And if she had a full training camp, I'd be a little more skeptical, but she is taking this fight last minute. She's going to be extremely undersized against the Khabib Nurmagomedov for female MMA.
And this is at 115 too, so it's going to be pretty interesting to see Suarez make that weight cut because when she came back, it was at 125 against De La Rosa, right?
Correct.
Okay.
But you saw she was moving De La Rosa around. And she subbed her.
Yeah.
It
was a kind of a struggle though in the beginning.
De La Rosa's a big girl.
And I mean, like as good as Suarez is on the ground, sus hands.
Very sus hands.
Very sus hands.
Doesn't matter though.
Jessica Andrade could probably put it on early, probably catch her with something crazy.
I see Jessica overextending like she did against Blanchfield, get put on her back. I see it 9 times out of 10 happen. I see it in my head.
Okay.
Listen, I got Tatiana Suarez and Njeku in a parlay right now, 2 units. And I only put 2 units because I respect that it's 2 legs. All right? But go ahead.
I'm happy for you, my brother.
Plus money.
I'm rooting for you.
Money.
I'm rooting for you.
I just don't like Jessica taking this fight last minute. And I just see the same thing happening with Erin Blanchfield, which happened a couple of months ago, happening again. I just don't know how Jessica's going to be able to deal with her off her back. This is the same girl that mobbed out on Carla Esparza. Tatiana beat the fuck out of her. I've never seen someone put a beating on Carla Esparza like that on the floor. And Carla's the best wrestler in this division outside of Tatiana, and she did not know what to do.
You spitting facts right now.
She didn't know what to do. Not even Zhang Weili put beats on the floor like that.
Yeah.
Rose Namajunas couldn't put beats on Carla like that. Tatiana steamrolled her. This girl, I think, is going to be a champion at 15 and 25. I don't see anyone being able to deal with her wrestling. And the thing is, Montana De La Rosa, and people are going to say, Valentina Shevchenko. Dude, Valentina Shevchenko is not as big as Montana De La Rosa. Grasso lost to Tatiana, and she's the champion right now. Dude, I mean, Tatiana's the dark horse of both divisions right now. I think and to take her on last minute notice, man, Jessica's got some fucking huge cojones, man. But I think it's a bad move, and I wouldn't have advised her to do it. I think she's going to get smashed. I think she's probably going to get stopped. I don't know if it's going to be via sub or punches, but probably via sub. I could see her just getting up and her. Tatiana loves that guillotine, man. And she's really good at cinching it up. She's essentially married to Patchy Mix at this point, and Patchy Mix is world-class on the floor. World-class. And if that's who she's training with, my money's probably in the sub.
Yeah, I would lean sub. The only thing that just worries me about this fight, because like I don't want to disrespect Andrade at all. It's that moment where Tatiana needs to get in. What does Jessica do? You know, like how easy is she gonna let Suarez get in?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't even think it's about letting her get in. I think.
I mean, nobody lets nobody get in, but like, you know, it's just that moment. Like,
I don't think
once she grabs her and takes her down,
right?
I think she's gonna look like minus 1,000.
Oh no, minus 10,000.
You see what I'm saying?
Right, and the thing is too, it's not. If Blanchfield got her down, Blanchfield does not have the chain wrestling that this girl has, man. So even if the double's not working, she'll switch to a single.
But Blanchfield had better hands.
I agree.
And she kind of used her hands to get in on Jessica.
I agree.
So that's what kind of worries me just a little bit.
I don't think it's.
I think once she gets her down, though, it's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
It's just that moment from standing to getting on Jessica to taking her down.
Listen, if she had a full camp, I'd be more on your side here. I just think last minute notice.
I do. I mean, listen, I do think Suarez is going to win, and I am probably going to play her by sub.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
Yeah, I understand.
Or at least maybe inside, but I don't want to. You know, I ain't trying to disrespect Andrade at all. And if that number keep getting crazy on Andrade too,
yeah, I don't think I put
a little
quarter unit.
You know I'm saying?
Little quarter unit,
little sprint, little, you know,
100%. I've never seen Tatiana like the toughest fight she had was against Nina Ansaroff, which is crazy. Nina Nunez now, and in my opinion, and I think she tore a labrum in that fight, man, and she still managed to win that fight. So it's like, you know, God, I don't know how Jessica's gonna be able to deal with her wrestling. I just don't know. And the thing is, it's the size too. Like at least Blanchfield.
Oh no, I agree with you there.
The size is gonna be very evident because she stood next to Montana. She was smaller than Montana, but she wasn't much smaller than Montana.
No, she's gonna have a good like 3-4 inches on Andrade.
And width.
Yeah.
And width. You know, so
especially at 115.
Yeah. So. Literally, this girl beat cancer, man. Tatiana is literally a war story, man, for her life. And she probably would have already been the champion already if it wasn't for injuries and cancer, which she both beat, by the way, and now she's here. Tatiana's on my parlay. Tatiana probably via submission. Yeah, that's where I'm at. Definitely getting my money.
All right, now we have arrived at the main event at a catch weight of 145. Actually, not 140. I apologize. We got Cory Sandhagen going one-on-one with Rob Font. Cory Sandhagen, 16-4, fighting out of Colorado, 31 years old, going against Rob Font, fighting out of Boston, Massachusetts, 36 years old. Original opponent was supposed to be Umar. Umar fell out with injury. Rob Font had a fight 2 weeks from now, I think, against Song Yadong. Decided, you know what?
Hold my beer.
Cory's the bigger fish here because, you know, Cory just beat Song. Good fight.
Great fight.
I think this is a sick fight.
It's a better fight than the original one, in my opinion, because it's closer.
Maybe. I don't know. Listen, I want to see Umar rise. Rise. Rise, motherfucker, rise.
That Rodney Dangerfield quote when he did what is it? The manifesto.
Oh, wait. Yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
Rise.
Anyway, what was I saying? I think Cory, listen, good fight. I don't know if it's as good as the Umar fight, but I think it's still a pretty good fight. I'm leaning Sandhagen here. Rob Font might be a little alive. And it's only because of one thing.
That jab.
The great disruptor, as Teddy Atlas would say. The jab.
He's charging him for the real estate. All the real estate he's charging him for. Teddy Atlas, boy. I love this, man.
I mean, I think Rob's got underrated, wrestling defense. Don't know what he looks like off his back because nobody's really attempted to drag him to the ground. So
actually, he pops up pretty quick. Like from what I've seen on the footage.
That's what I'm saying. Like he hasn't really been on the ground. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
And the takedowns people have gotten, like literally, he's just back up.
Yeah.
Sandhagen's a different story. Sandhagen, I think he's got solid wrestling. He's probably been training wrestling this whole camp because he thought he was fighting Umar.
Yep. There's
no way. I don't see a world where Sandhagen is not going to try to attempt to wrestle Rob. I think striking wise, I think Cory is the more creative striker. He uses his legs and kicks, and he can mix it up. But Rob Font, better pure striker in terms of boxing, for sure. Also could use kicks. But again, like I said, that jab is the great equalizer. He hasn't really fought anybody with a good jab. I think the last guy he fought with a good jab was Jan.
Yeah.
And Jan beat him up. But Jan is also, a more complete fighter, in my opinion, than
I agree.
Rob Font. So I think this fight should be lined a little closer. I do agree that Sandhagen is the favorite, should be the favorite. I am going to pick Sandhagen as a pure pick to win this fight. Depending on where the line's at, I might sprinkle a little bit on Rob, though. Rob, his chin might be fading him, but he's one of those guys where you got to kind of kill him to get him out of there. And I think strike for strike, I think he's the harder puncher.
Yeah.
But I'm leaning Sandhagen here. And But Rob Font, and a side note, he's also Puerto Rican. I love when my Boricuas thrive. You know what I'm saying? I want to see these guys prosper.
This is number one bullshit.
A little bit of bias on the side here, you know what I'm saying? But so I'm rooting for Rob Font 100%. I don't know if he can get it done though. But I think he is. Like I said, I think the line should be closer because I think he's a little more live than people are giving him credit for. I do think more likely than not, this fight probably goes the distance.
Love the overs here.
So I do like the overs.
Yes.
So if you find a nice over line, hit that. Because I don't know if Cory Sandhagen has the power to get Font. Unless he just kicks his legs off to get Font out.
Or kicks him in the head, like he did Marlon Moraes.
Low key, I think that the finishing equity is probably on the Font side.
I agree.
Probably. But I don't know. Because again, it's when Sandhagen decides to implement his wrestling, it's going to be pretty interesting to see if he's able to, one, take Rob Font down, two, see what Rob Font looks like on the ground. Because we know what Sandhagen looks like on the ground. So submission could be live. Don't know how that's going to play out. I would like to see the jiu-jitsu here play out a little bit. But for the most part, I think it's going to be a striking affair where Sandhagen mixes into wrestling. I lean Sandhagen. I'm rooting for Font. If that number gets a little crazy, I might sprinkle on Font. But I might find a way to bet Sandhagen here. I don't know. Betting wise, I haven't really looked deep into this. Like I said, money lines, I like money lines, but they're a little blown up. I'm prop hunting. So maybe the overs is probably the way I'm going to bet it just to play it safe. And I think it's going to be a hell of a main event, to be honest.
I think the overs are for sure the bet. The reason why Rob Font is a live dog. Rob usually just has problems with power punchers. Big punchers. Cory is not a big puncher. Cory can win this fight with his wrestling, but Rob is got pretty good takedown defense and scrambles up really well when he's taken down. Rob has a lot of output. Humongous hands for the weight division, by the way. If you look at him, his hands are like crazy.
Got like heavyweight hands.
Bro. Heavyweight hands.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. I think the finishing upside's more on his side. I don't see it because Cory's a fucking dog.
Cory is a dog.
He's a dog. And to be honest, he shouldn't even be fighting Umar. He should just be waiting for the belt. He shouldn't be fighting any of these guys.
I'm more worried about damage, too, because Sandhagen in his last fight against Song Yadong sliced him up, boy.
Correct.
With elbows. And he's, Sandhagen's a little wicked. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He knows how to use all 8 limbs.
Yeah. What I will say, though, Yadong doesn't have the footwork that Rob Font has.
I agree.
He doesn't have the in and out motion, doesn't have the jab to stifle the movement. doesn't have like I said, the only thing that scares me about Rob is his chin. But the thing is, Rob's chin is only really tested against big punchers. And if he can avoid the head kick, he's gonna go the distance in this fight.
And it's like I don't think his chin is faded. It's more like
he doesn't wear damage well.
He don't wear the damage well, and when he gets hit, he reacts crazy.
Yeah,
he'd be like.
But the thing is, like I said, think about his last couple of fights. Like Giannis, he took out, he assassinated that boy.
Yeah.
But before that was what, Marlon Vera, a tank of a hitter. And the thing is too, here's the other thing that doesn't get mentioned, and sorry to throw it back actually, because I'm gonna mention the other guys that he's fought. Let's do that first actually.
Yeah, go ahead.
Marlon Vera, Cody Garbrandt, Ricky Simone. Yeah, all guys that can crack, have power. I just think that, I'm sorry, Jose Aldo, big puncher. And the thing is, in the Marlon Vera and the Jose Aldo fight, he was winning those rounds until he got caught at the end of the round. So I see a lot of paths for victory for Rob here. And here's the most important point. Cory Sandhagen is not essentially the most prolific efficient wrestler. He's okay. He's not godly. He's not Tatiana Suarez of this division. There's better wrestlers in this division than him. I can see a lot of bad shit happening for Cory Sandhagen in this fight. I think if this line gets up to plus 300, it's at plus 270. I'm gonna hit Rob. And I'm gonna sprinkle probably half a unit on him, just because I can see this fight going split decision. I can see this fight going to the judges' scorecards, and I can see it being disputable about certain rounds, because there can be rounds with a lot of output where they catch each other with good shots. I could also see the first 2 rounds being more of like a feeling out and them not really connecting on each other. Could see that too. So Cory Sandhagen's the lean. Rob might be the bet.
And I think that pretty much wraps it up for the card.
Yep.
12 fights. Decent card overall. I mean, from what they could scrap together, because there's like 8 canceled fights on this joint, but
yeah, like great, like not a bad card. A little bit of a difficult card to bet on, just because there's a lot of fights.
Hard.
Yeah, there's a lot of fights that can go either way. But before we wrap up the show, we have one more fight. Not a big boxing fight. This would be classified under Francis Ngannou's gimmick fight promotions. Nah. I mean, listen, I'm happy both these boys are getting paid. Nate Diaz taking on Jake Paul this weekend. What do you got for me?
Wow. Well, have they? I'm pretty sure they settled on it, but I don't know. How many rounds is in this fight? Is it 8? Is it 6? Or is it 10?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think it's 10.
I think if it's 10 rounds, I think one that favors Nate. 2, man, I don't know. If I had to give a prediction for this fight, I think if Nate doesn't apply any kind of like real pressure on Jake and kind of lets Jake do his thing, I think this is Jake all the way, especially early.
Correct.
But the later this fight gets, that favors Nathaniel.
I agree.
I think if Nate is able to put pressure on Jake, make him feel uncomfortable, advantage Nate. The line is weird on this fight. I think Jake does win this fight, but I'm probably willing to take the shot on Nate. I don't know.
Does this fight go to distance?
I probably goes all 12.
Or 10.
Or 10. Yeah, you're right. Or 8. Or whatever the rounds are. It goes the distance, I think, for sure.
Yeah. I'd say Jake Paul via decision. And I'd say Jake Paul via decision because Jake has got the size. He's naturally the much bigger guy. Nate's older now. This is going to be his first boxing match. And to be quite frank, like, he's pretty okay with rolling with punches. So I don't think he gets cleaned. But the thing is, he's also doesn't have a lot of crazy boxing skills. Like he's a slick boxer for MMA. because he can crowd you and work the inside. The thing is, I don't know how efficient that's going to be with 12-ounce gloves or 10-ounce gloves or whatever size gloves they're wearing. And he's not naturally a big puncher. So where does he muster up, enough power to stop a much bigger kid?
I think it's less about power and more just about volume.
I agree.
Just like,
if he keeps him on the outside and he starts like his typical Nick and Nate Diaz pawing and then to the body, over the top, and then straight, I could see him giving Jake some trouble, but there's no way Jake is not prepared for that, man. I expect Jake to use his feet, keep him on the outside, and then he's either going to be all the way in or all the way out, getting away from him.
I agree. I feel like this fight is going to be a little on the, I don't want to say boring, but a little bit on the lame side.
I agree.
I feel like there'll probably be like 1 or 2 moments, and with Diaz in the ring, you don't know what the hell's going to go on. He might just leave. Instead of take a water break, he might take a weed break or something. Hit something on the side, get back in the ring. I don't know. I think it's going to be pretty interesting to watch, to say the least. But I do think Jake should win this fight. But like I said, I don't know.
I agree.
I'm a little tempted. I might be wrong. I might be losing some money here, but I'm a little tempted to take some dog on Nate.
I tell you what, too, I didn't realize it, but we have another boxing fight that's on the undercard of this. Amanda Serrano is fighting Heather Hardy.
Oh, that's...
Amanda might knock her out.
Yeah,
she might stop her.
That's going to be a dog walking, I feel like.
Yeah, she's minus 2,000.
I like Heather Hardy, too, but like...
There's levels, baby.
Yeah.
There's levels. Like some of the more elite level boxers have a hard time staying in there with Amanda for 10 rounds.
Yeah.
And Heather is not on that level. I'm sorry, man. She's there for a name, unfortunately. Probably Amanda by stoppage. I'll go that far. I think she's probably going to make an emphatic point, especially since Katie Taylor lost recently. So we'll see. And I think this is one of her more watered down opponents, if I'm being quite frank.
It is, yeah. There's way more qualified people, way more deserving people for her belt at the moment.
Yep.
Not that like Heather Hardy is like, not deserving, but I don't think she's earned the shot.
Correct.
There's other people in front of her. She definitely kind of jumped the line, and I think it's more of just like a name value thing that they wanted on the card.
Yep.
But and they have a little bit of a rivalry too, so it's like, but I think Amanda's gonna bop her up. I think.
Yeah. If there's
a dog walking,
if there's a rivalry and they're talking shit to each other, Amanda definitely stops her.
Yeah.
Because Amanda's like the nicest human being on the planet.
Oh, she's great.
She's great.
Also,
so marketable.
Boricua, baby.
Also Puerto Rican. So, we may or may not be a little biased, but we can assure you that fight she's going to win. I want to do a little more homework before I give you bets on those two boxing fights.
Yeah, because this is all just off the dome right now. So
correct. But I think Jake by decision, Amanda probably by stoppage. That's my gut right now.
Yeah, gut feeling, 100%. I'm with you.
Yeah, but, could it be other way? Could Jake stop Nate? Sure. Could Amanda go all 10? Sure. There's a lot of shit that could happen. I just want to watch it. I want to watch how Nate looks and in training. I also want to see how Jake looks. I also want to see how Heather Hardy's looked in her previous boxing matches. And then I'll give you more of an assessment.
Yeah.
But
we might have something on it. Maybe not. Who knows? Depending on the lines, too, because the lines don't line up with our reads. Probably just going to leave it alone because,
Yeah, like Estrada last weekend, minus 500 for a decision.
That's wild, bro.
How am I going to bet that?
How?
Because then if I put $5 down, for every $5 I put down, I get one back. So if she knocks her out and I put $50 on it, I look like an asshole.
Yeah.
Right? So, yeah.
It's just not efficient betting.
It's not efficient betting. So we'll see how it comes out. We'll see how the lines drop, and then we'll definitely give you guys an analysis from there. But as you know, this is the end of the episode, end of the boxing talk. Jake Paul, Nate Diaz this weekend. UFC Nashville this weekend. You already know, ladies and gentlemen, this is the episode's end. Hope you love the content. Follow, like, subscribe, comment, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.
Everybody currently watching on YouTube, hit that like, subscribe, notification bell, drop a comment. We will reply. Show us some love.
And for all of our audio listeners, Spotify, Apple, Google Podcast, we love you all. Take it easy. Enjoy the fights this weekend. Follow us on social media platforms for those bets. You already know, especially the ones that we didn't give out on this podcast because there's a lot of if and ands. A lot of scary betting this weekend, but we're going to find some spots for you guys. Love you all. All you haters follow. Get off of Earl Spence's dick. Holla at ya. Love ya.